last year, I think in December, it was November, December-ish, we had a raise of about $1.5 million to be able to, expand. They paid us a lot of money for that. It was a lot of money. It ran into millions. I think it was like...
How are you doing?
Well, I'm fine.
Thank you so much for your time. I obviously know your name, but if you want to, if you want to introduce yourself and just like your name, what you do, and yeah.
My name is Ugochukwu Aronu. I'm the founder and CEO of Wicrypt. So Wicrypt is a service that allows people to share their mobile internet and actually earn money when they do that. Okay. And they also earn cryptocurrency when they share that internet as a sort of incentive, for sharing and distributing internet. My job at Wicrypt is engineering mostly. Yeah, building part of the hardware, the operating system and all that, leading engineering team. Actually, that's basically what I do every day. Yeah.
When did you start Wicrypt?
So we started Wicrypt in 2018. Actually, it's been about 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. It took a lot of time to develop because, we're dealing with like very complex tech. But yeah, we've had multiple versions of the product and yeah, it's 2018.
So 2018 to 2022, I know that you co-founder of a very interesting company called Zend.
Yeah.
Can you like touch more on Zend? How did Zend start? Like, what was the vision for Zend?
Okay. First, Zend actually started in that was during the pandemic. Actually, that's when we started working on like Zend Finance, and then people found it difficult to access savings, right? And when they could even access their savings, they realized that their purchasing power was really low. So we started thinking about ways to leverage the blockchain to provide some form of stability, converting people's local currencies to stable cryptocurrencies and then giving them high yields on those stable cryptocurrencies. So that's why we started Zend Finance, and we've seen, massive success today. Getting a lot of users, getting people, to adopt the product, to get used to the product, to use it, to solve their problems. It's been really great. So that's like what really, spurred the development.
Now, speaking of, your journey, basically, there's something that interests me. I know that you there's something you mentioned that Zend is a portfolio company of a larger company, which is Binance. Yeah. How did that particularly come about? So
Binance has something called Binance Labs.
Okay.
Right. So Binance Labs is sort of incubation program for companies. So just like most incubation programs, they usually put out advertisements for people to apply. Yeah. So we applied, and then I think out of over 600 companies.
Wow.
Yeah. Out of over 600 companies, we were one of, I think, Binance in that cohort took about 12 or 14 companies globally, something like that. And they took only 4 from Africa. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we were one of the 4 that were picked from Africa. Yeah, so that's how we got into that incubation program and then got investments from Binance. Yeah.
So if I understand the timeline correctly, Wicrypt started first, and then Zend Finance started secondly. Okay. So speaking of Wicrypt now, what are some of the products that you currently have? Okay,
so on Wicrypt, we have our devices called hotspot hubs. So what these devices do is they look like the routers people have or their MiFis, but they are way more advanced than those MiFis, right? Because one, they enable you to actually accommodate or have more people use your device and use like your hotspot. For example, your regular MiFi would maybe take 5 people, but then the Wicrypt hotspot hub can take up to 70 people. Yeah, exactly. So, and also it has it allows more bandwidth. It allows you to use faster internet a lot faster. It allows more bandwidth of data. It allows you to use both SIM cards and then wired internet connections with existing internet as well, and it works anywhere in the world. actually. That's the good thing about it. So our devices can work anywhere in the world, and they are GPS enabled, meaning that you can locate them anywhere in the world as well. So these are some of the products we have. We also have our mobile application as well. Our mobile app is on Google Play Store and iOS App Store. It enables people to actually track, performance of their devices, know people who are actively connected to their devices. It gives you a real-time report of active sessions on your devices, and it enables you to know what bandwidth people are consuming, how much you're actually making at every point in time. And you can also, that information is also available on your web dashboard. So in case you don't have a mobile app, you can actually use the web application for this as well. Yeah, and there's something we actually built out called an Explorer. That's like the final product. So the Explorer is a web interface that allows anybody anywhere in the world to be able to see all the available Wicrypt devices anywhere at all. It creates an open data network. What I mean by that is it can show you all the devices, their current internet service providers, the speed at which they are all browsing, and the amount of concurrent connections per device. And that information is extremely critical, especially to ISPs. This information has never been available before now, because most times ISPs always operate in silos. They just have their own data. But with Wicrypt, because we are a system that supports any ISP at all anywhere in the world, we can now access all this information, and they are now open for people to be able to actually see. So the ISPs can even assess their performance, right? Like the way we are here in Dubai. When you open up the Explorer, you'll be able to see existing Wicrypt devices here. You'll be able to see the internet speed at which they are browsing. And you'll be able to also look at Nigeria, Lagos, to see the internet speed at which people are browsing there. You'll be able to see the location of the devices, number of concurrent connections. And this will be able to enable performance of ISPs across different parts of the world. And this data is really, really, invaluable. People can use it for a lot of good. So it's more like creating like an open data network, like a decentralized, data network where people can access information and see things. But of course, privacy is ensured.
I was just writing it down. I was just asking you.
People's privacy, like you won't know, like you're not seeing the traffic on the network because all the data is actually encrypted.
So only internet speeds now.
You're seeing internet speed, the internet service provider, and then the location, the area at which the device is. No, you're not seeing. The private information. Yeah.
I mean, I was just like writing that down. So there's something that interests me. Like this is decentralized, data, and the internet. But who is this for? Like, who would benefit the most from this thing that you're providing?
Okay, it's not for just for one person, but yeah, I'll try to break down like the demography, right? So first, we're looking at your individuals or young people, right? This is a way for them to earn passive income. Especially in like developing countries, right? So we have a model we developed on Wicrypt called Share to Earn. So what that model simply is you're able to share your hotspot, even if you're not sharing to a lot of people, even just for yourself. Let's say the way we're here, you're browsing on your computer and everything. While you're doing that, you're earning crypto. You're earning like cryptocurrency. Wicrypt has its own native cryptocurrency called WNT, and is already live. It's valued. You can see the value like on Google Play, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and all that. So you can earn those cryptocurrencies when you can earn our cryptocurrency when you actually share or use the internet. Now it becomes more exciting when you now go to remote areas or areas where you don't have very good internet connection, and you set up like a good internet connection for people there to browse. So we have our algorithms that check things called special economic zones. So special economic zones are places where we feel don't have very good internet connection, and people should actually go there, like rural areas, and set up internet. So in those special economic zones, or maybe like some remote areas, you will tend to get more reward. So by creating or by having these young people use the internet the way they are used to, they actually earn passive income. Now, another set of maybe people in this in the like demography, you'll be looking at businesses, right? Let's say like a restaurant, for example, a hotel. These guys are people that offer when people come there, they have like Wi-Fi services that people can connect to. So with our devices, these Wi-Fi services are much more customized. Now, what do I mean? For example, when you come into let's say a restaurant, for example, they can actually customize their interface. They can actually show you ads on the Wicrypt device. So our dashboards, the interfaces are customizable from the dashboard. So each business can customize their interface, show the customer what they want. They can collect customer feedback without having to pay any extra money. Before now, this was not possible. You had to maybe have some complex network engineers design or buy expensive equipment, very expensive equipment. But now with your hotspot hub, you can set up your customized interface, provide like some ads, collect feedback from your customers, and also, earn passive income while you're doing that. Then the third set of people.
Sorry to cut you short. Does this mean that businesses can whitelist?
Oh yes. You can white label your.
White label.
Yeah, exactly.
They have there's a preset that they can just plug into.
They can plug in. Yeah, it's on their dashboard. They do
and
everything.
Businesses can also earn passive income.
Yeah, they earn passive income from it.
Okay, so that's the same WNT.
Yeah, token. WNT token. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the other set of people will be the ISPs themselves, that's the internet service providers, right? So before now, internet service providers usually are not incentivized per se to maybe go to some very remote areas to set up internet. Why? Because they'll be like, there might not be many people there, to use the internet. And also when providing internet service, even for people in urban areas or in developing countries, let's say like Nigeria, for example, you see that the cost of internet is very high. Why is the cost of internet high? Cost of the infrastructure is high. Let's say the cost of the hardware that they use, cost of, maintaining the engine, a lot of things, right, contribute to this high cost. Now, but with WNT, with our tokens, the way we incentivize people for actually sharing internet, the tokens can actually help to reduce the cost of providing this internet because it has like some value in itself. And we've also realized that it helps ISPs to now want to provide internet in all these remote areas because they know that, okay, there's some form of reward actually when they do that, okay? And also people in remote areas are, of course, now going to be benefiting from this service. And one thing I actually was supposed to mention is that, people who earn passive income,
okay, it's
not just for the providers. Even the people who connect earn passive income, but in a smaller quantity, right? So even people in those remote areas, just for connecting to a Wicrypt-enabled network, you're earning some small income, right? So the idea is to be able to make internet available everywhere in the world. I mean, it starts, in a small way, but with this incentivization mechanism, we've been able to see that, yes, it can actually grow and spiral into something really huge. So yeah, these are like the people who are able to like access these services and, get like very good benefits from them.
So that's very, interesting. Basically, if I'm going to summarize all what you said, people can connect to the internet and make money because they just connected to the internet. Yeah, because they just connected,
yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah. I've not really seen it before, but it's fine. So if you were going to like categorize competition now, for instance, are there people in this space currently that maybe inspiration or competition? I don't know how you describe it.
Yeah. Okay. So for competition, not really. Like direct competition, not really. About inspiration, I would say first, that I don't know if you like people call this guy is called Helium. So Helium is based in the US. So but what Helium does is Helium connects IoTs, right, using LoRaWAN, right? So it's purely for IoT connection, low data transmission devices and everything, But Wicrypt actually connects both IoTs, connects human beings, so you can browse, you can go like on YouTube, use your regular internet, like stream on Netflix with our hotspot hubs. Yeah, so these are like these are like sort of like inspiration because Helium has been really successful, but they're based in the US and I think in Canada, but they've been really successful in providing the connectivity for IoTs, and they incentivize the creators of those hotspots or whatever you want to call them with their tokens, HNT. So it's a similar model that Wicrypt is adopting. Yeah, it's a similar
But
model.
you are different in that. Like, how would you describe your own unique?
So, well, we're different because we're actually sharing internet. Helium doesn't allow, like, it's not like peer-to-peer internet sharing. It's just low data transmission for IoT. So let's say like your smart collars, your smart fridges, not like maybe a human being will jump on it and start browsing with the Helium network, but with Wicrypt, that's what you're able to do. And, we actually designed this looking at the peculiar problem we have in Africa, which is high cost of mobile internet data, right? But we've also seen that this actually resonates across multiple regions of the world, even parts of the world that we feel like are very developed. A lot of them actually still do not have very fast and stable internet connection. Places in the United States, right? There are places in the US that don't have fast, and in Germany, in different parts of the world. So, seeing that this is something that can spread across different regions of the world, like very successfully. Yeah.
So let's talk about like you as a business now. How has it been like financially for you in terms of like you doing what you're doing?
I'll go back to 2018. So when we started this in 2018, like we faced so many challenges, right? In fact, so how Wicrypt basically started was we were in my office. I mean, because like I built software. So when our office, just building software regularly, and I lost my internet connection. I asked my colleagues, "Hi guys, can you help me? Can I connect to your own?" Because I think I was using one of these ISPs in Nigeria, but it didn't work at the time. So they were like, no, that I'll consume their internet and they don't know how I'll pay for it, and they won't be able to know how much I consumed. So I was like, what if there was a way, right? I could use your internet and you just charge me exactly the amount I've used without you even maybe having to monitor it manually. So when I mentioned it, some of my colleagues were like, well, that's cool. But I was like, well, I think I'll go ahead and build this stuff. One of them said, I'm sure this thing has been made already. There's no new idea now. Mm-hmm. But funny enough, I searched because I can be very stubborn. I was like, look, I must search for this thing. I searched. I didn't see anything. I said, so we started building. Zero, like we're just working on it. So I talked to one of my colleagues as well. He jumped on and said, he was going to join me. Yeah, so we started working on it mostly on weekends, right? It was more like a pet project. So we didn't have any funding or anything. But as we started building, we started getting like recognition from like different places. We got into a competition called Kin Blockchain Development. We were the only African company. The Kin Blockchain, they chose 40 companies globally for their grant. It was a $15,000 grant. We were the only African company that qualified for that grant. It was really cool. So it helped us, the $15,000 helped us, to just keep building. In 2019, yeah, that's when we actually, had our first product. Because started in 2018. In 2019, we had like our first product. And then the next thing that we did was we got the first contract per se, right, from infra branches, Omni branches actually. Also, Omni branches is a large agent network in Nigeria, right? They do like mobile money agents and all that. So what they actually reached out to us that they wanted like a solution, right, that would enable their agents become like mobile hotspots. So they said they had gone to ISPs in Nigeria to build out the solution, but they didn't really see that the ISPs were like, it was a very customizable solution, and they couldn't like start, like it was going to be really expensive for them to provide that service to them, rebuilding like an entire infrastructure just to support them. So when they reached out to us, we were like, yeah, we already have this. They were like, are you sure? I said, yes. So they paid us a lot of money for that. Honestly, like I was really excited. I didn't expect it at all. They bought 50 devices at the time from us, and it was a lot of money. It ran into millions. I think it was like over about 7 to 8 million or something naira then. And I was like, wow, we didn't expect to make that money. And it really encouraged us to now know that, look, we are onto something really huge. Let's work more on this. So we delivered the product, and then we also got like as those guys were using it, we got like, we're getting very good feedback. And then we were approached by the Enugu state government saying something like, hey, we want to do like an empowerment for the youth and everything to be able to earn like some passive income where it's you guys, like they've seen the Wicrypt stuff that, can you explain more about it? And yeah, we were like, yes, this is what it does. Did the demonstration. They were like, okay, wow. The state government purchased about 400 devices from us. And That was huge. At that point, we realized that, look, because we were just 3 people, it was overwhelming. And of course, like I had other businesses, like other tech startups, but it was hard, like, I felt this thing was going to maybe die at some point, or, but then I just knew that, look, I had to put in some time, but then we now had to hire like a lot of like people in the operations team to help with the business part, because at the time we had already figured out like most of the tech.
Okay.
Yeah, it was now mostly the business, day-to-day operations, and I really didn't have the time, to focus on that part. But then we were able to now hire very experienced people who had experience like in like MTN, Etisalat, like 14 years experience. So like they had that part covered. So that's what like enabled us to get to this point. And then sometime last year, we did a raise. Wicrypt has already been it's already a profitable business, right? Because we're generating revenue. But we realized that we were just restricted to Nigeria, right? And we needed like international partners and everything. So last year, I think in December, it was November, December-ish, we had a raise of about $1.5 million to be able to, expand to be able to like expand globally and to get like our new set of devices, like our new set of devices, hotspot hubs, because the older ones we had they were not looking really, really great like that, like appearance wise they were not so great, but we now had to make something really cool, something much more it's something that had more grit, something that was much stronger than what we had before, and cost of production, we designed the hardware here but we couldn't make it here, like we designed hardware like within the office but we couldn't make them in Nigeria, so I had to make them abroad and then bring them back. So those things like were quite expensive and required a lot of capital, so that's where most of the investment went into. So like we now have like thousands of devices in stock and now ready to sell. So that's how we've been operating financially, and it's been great, but it's been a long ride, but yeah.
I think the story is quite interesting, like starting and then getting to the point of like you are probably imagining that this was not going to work out, and then all of a sudden things changed. And I think that's how it usually is, like all those overnight successes are like after so much time working, it just happens overnight, but you've put in the time and you've put in the work. So it's interesting. I was checking Omni branches. Did they rebrand to Infi branches?
Yeah, it's Infi. It's actually Infi.
Or Infi. Yeah. It's like they have an infinity logo or something like that.
Yeah, they are like, that's like the I think that's the parent company.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm seeing Omni branches there as well. Yeah. Interesting. Speaking of businesses now, how many businesses currently are plugged into what you're building?
Okay. Currently, we have I think we have over 100 businesses, but users who have used the platform are over 15,000 users who have actually connected the platform. Yeah, we have over 100 businesses that have purchased, like that have devices. Yeah, over 100 businesses. Yeah.
And how much is it that you sell your devices?
Okay, so the new devices we have now that that, like I mentioned before, that we just like got in, each one of them goes for, there are 2 types. There's a Lynx and there's a Spider. Okay. The Lynx goes for $1,000, then the Spider goes for $1,500. Yeah. But we have older devices, but those older models are almost out of stock. Yeah. So, but these new models, because these models are more advanced, they are way, way better than the older ones. Yeah.
What would you tell your younger self, or your younger self, knowing what you know now? How would you tell 2018 Ugo that started Wicrypt, or that was about to start Wicrypt? What would you tell your younger self?
Don't stop building, like, and work a whole lot more harder. Like the harder you work, the higher the chances of success. Yeah. Like just work extremely hard, and I'll say that to any entrepreneur, right? Because I realized that most times, even when people think things are not working out, as long as you're like very consistent, one way or the other, the universe just has a way of just opening like doors for you, and it just works. So those are like principles I've lived with over time, and I would push my younger self to follow those principles a whole lot more than I did before.
Thank you so much. This was like very insightful for me, and I think we've come to the end, but if there's anything you want to add, is there anything you want to say?
Like I said, I'm really excited, right, that I'm on this podcast, and we're doing something really exciting for your community.
Okay.
And on the so on the devices, right? So we're going to be giving like a 20% discount.
Oh wow.
On each device. So,
20.
Yeah, on each device actually. So through you're gonna have like there's a special link for people to buy, through.
So that will be in the description.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the description. Yes. So so we're gonna have like a 20% discount for your fans, and we hope to also get like valuable feedback. Something I'm very, very interested in really is getting feedback from our community, from our users. It helps us to create a better product. It helps us to serve like better. And something a lot of people do not know, and I would like to mention it here, is that like Wicrypt is the first company to actually create its own like hardware that its own like hardware, its own operating system in Nigeria, right? Like hardware for networking, like within the networking space, so in the telecommunication space rather, for sharing internet, for mining crypto and all that. So it's something that we're very proud of, but it's also like something really difficult, right? And that's why it took us a very long time to create this product, have multiple iterations, and we're still building it out. So when people buy or get this product, we also want like very good feedback. We are happy to work with the users, work with the community members to ensure that they have a great experience, and we will keep on improving the product. This is like the third version. Actually, this is like the second version of the product, right? So we expect to have more versions of the product. We expect to have more things within the Wicrypt ecosystem that will make it really interesting and exciting for people to use our services. Yeah.
That's interesting. So feedback, criticism, anything that they feel like they can help. That's interesting. So
unbiased feedback. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much again for your time. And do I have your consent to use this?
Oh, yes. Okay. Sure.
All right. So all the links will be in the description below if you want to check anything out. And like you said, it's giving 20% discounts. It's just quite interesting. So all the links will be there in the description below. Thank you so much again.
Thanks.
And I look forward to your success.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Fisayo. It was great. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for staying until the end of this video. Thank you for watching this interview with Ugo, the founder of Zen Finance and also the founder of Wicrypt. If you found this video useful at all in any way, please leave a like. That lets YouTube recommend this video to more people like you who are interested in videos like this. And of course, hit the red subscribe button with the bell icon beside it so you'll be the first to know when we post a new video. All right, that's pretty much it from me. I hope you enjoy your day and you found this video useful again. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, and we'll see you guys in the very next video.